Hey everyone, it's Libby from Meister Tarot. I'd like to acknowledge the ancestors past, present and future and welcome to you, your guides, my guides and the universal energies. Absolute pleasure to have you along. Sorry I wasn't on yesterday. I won't say it was wall-to-wall visitors, but it was pretty, there were three lots of visitors yesterday and just made it pretty much impossible to get any readings done. I am straddling the corner of the dining table because I kind of thought, different view today. The two windows that look out over the back garden. Weather's a bit lousy today. It's a bit windy. It's potentially going to rain, and it's just absolutely one of those days. So welcome, welcome, welcome. A couple of you asked why I wasn't acknowledging the Worimi people. Purely because I am not on Worimi country at the moment. I am in New Zealand. My mum, she's currently having some blood and platelet transfusions today. It may be her last lot of transfusions. The blood tests are showing, I'm in New Zealand, by the way, so different country altogether. The blood results are showing that she's holding stable, but that basically means that her body is relying on the transfusions to actually keep going. So she's just chewing through the blood and platelets that beautiful other people are donating. And what was happening was the specialist was trying to kickstart her own system. It doesn't seem to be taking effect. So very possibly her absolute last lot of transfusions today. Talk to the specialist on Monday. May not even go for the bone marrow biopsy if there's no point. So it's just day by day at the moment. As my mum says, she's not the first to travel this path, and she certainly won't be the last. All she wants is to beat the orange twerp to the pearly gates because she doesn't want to get caught in the queue behind him as he goes through his life review. I'm sure she will be sidetracked to the VIP velvet rope line. Okay, what do I want to have a look at? Oh, just interesting, a few little snippets before I actually dive straight in, because I do like to do a little bit of a follow-up on things. For those that are thinking it's, just the orange twerp, I'm just going to say no. It was brought to my attention that I think Johnson, way back, I'm not talking Mikey of the Little Johnson, I'm talking way back Johnson in the in the 60s, after Kennedy and after Ford, etc. Johnson had apparently negotiated a ceasefire for the Vietnam War with had come to some sort of agreement with the South Vietnamese, North Vietnamese. And what happened is that now I'm going on some little bit of research, and a lot of feels that it feels right. The Nixon regime contacted, I believe, South Korea and said, we can get you a better deal after I'm elected. And what happened is Nixon was then elected because Johnson's inability and controversy in regards to the Vietnam War. And then, of course, Nixon kept it going for another 5 years until he was out of office, until he was removed from office. Exactly the same as what Reagan did to Carter, if you think back. Carter had negotiated, I believe, for the release of the hostages. And what happened is the Reagan regime contacted and said, no, leave it. And then used that to as a point to defeat Carter. So this has been, what's happening now is pretty much a culmination of what has been happening for the last 60 years. I won't say 70, 50 years. Now, pretty much since then, the behind the scenes regime have been employing constitutional lawyers to try and find ways to supersede the Constitution. I mean, the Constitution can be used for good and it can be used for not good. So depending on which side of the fence you're on, it was written on the assumption that those running the country would theoretically be honourable, ethical, and do the best for the people. But A lot of gaps are showing up. Let me just put it that way. Now, also, I just want to point out as well, apparently John Roberts, Chief Justice, was the legal advisor to W back in 2000 when he stole that election from Gore due to W's brother Jeb being the governor of Florida and the old hanging Chads scenario. So, yeah, a hole punched, but the fact that it hadn't actually fallen out, like the old fashioned bus tickets. But the fact that it hadn't the little thing hadn't fallen all the way off because it was hanging on by a thread, um, um, got tossed out. So, and then counting stopped and all the rest of it. So, apparently Roberts was Bush's advisor, or W's advisor on that in 2000. And then in 2003, he was appointed by W as a circuit court judge. And with a barely 18 months, 2 years worth of experience as a judge, he was, again by W, appointed to Scrotus as the Supreme Court Justice over justices on Scrotus that had served there for a long period of time and had a lot more experience. So I'm just putting it out there. This is not just a felon thing. This behind the scenes has been going on for a long time. There are a lot of opportunities to write the course, to get to put the brakes on the train, etc. But they were never taken. So pretty much what's happening now is really kicking a lot of people out of apathy in regards to democracy around the world. Trust me, around the world. This is why what's happening is being watched very keenly by all us overseas people. So what it feels like at the moment, and I'm just going to say the energy it feels like, the vision I was actually given, is that the regime bus has stalled on the crossing, on the railway track crossing. Like there's a road goes across the track, the bus is stalled, the boom gates are ding, 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 going down as the train is careering up the track. And for me, the vision I'm getting is it's that, that's, if you're watching it, it would be in slow motion and you'd be going, oh, but there's nothing you can do. Like it's when you see somebody starting to trip over, or you see a kid doing something where they're going to hurt themselves and you're like, oh, but you can't get them. At the moment, it feels like the train is literally in this incredibly slow motion point, and it has hit the bus, and the bus has just started to cave. So we're at that point where the bus has just started to cave in. Now, I wish I could hit a fast forward button, but so, if you were sitting back at the crossing and you're watching the train crash into the bus, and the bus is just starting to cave, and we're watching it, we know that there's going to be a huge mess cleanup. You'll be leaping out of your car and you'll be racing down there to do whatever you can do. The train's screeching its brakes. It's going to end up, 500 meters down the track with the bus curved around its nose and, bodies flung everywhere. Sorry if that's triggering for anyone, but that's the vision I see. And we're going to be leaping out of the car and racing down to pick up the mess. And then what happens is the cleanup has to start. The ambulances will come. Wonder who the EMTs are going to be. But, if you can imagine that vision, that is exactly what my guides are giving me this morning when I was having a chat to them. I was also having a chat to them last night in the shower, as one does, about what's next year look like. What is the next, what is next summer going to look like for me? And all they would give me was house renovations because we've bought this house and we're going to do a little, bit of a pushing and pulling and all the rest of it. Um, so the backyard was, a bit of a construction zone and all the rest of it. I'm like, yeah, not me, the rest of the world. And they wouldn't give me anything. So I can only assume that by the time we get to that stage, we've moved beyond this train bus crash period. Actually, this might just be a video in itself, to be honest, because we're at 11 minutes already. We might have already moved past this bus crash period because they're not actually giving me anything for next year. So just entertainment only in case these senses want to have a little bit of a play with it. I didn't bring my oracle cards. I do apologise. I didn't bring my mother has some light seers cards somewhere, but I'm not sure where they are. So I'm just going to use the Gilded Tarot Royale and have a look to see what is next year going to bring. New beginning, new plan, new energy, new fire energy, new fiery energy. Okay, but we've also got the Two of Pentacles. This is probably talking about possibly the post-crash or even just the moment we're in at the moment is very much about having to decide, juggling to try and bring that ship into harbour. Now, I was talking to one of my beautiful viewers via email today, and it was quite interesting. They were talking, and I was can't remember what they're talking about. We were talking about freedom in the US. Now, I'm just going to put it out there from an Australian's point of view. So please don't take this wrong or don't have a defeatist attitude about it, because us other democracies talk about ad nauseum universal health care. And with universal health care, what happens is that you're not actually tied to a job. Doesn't matter whether you have a job or not, you will get the same care. I mean, you can buy extra insurance if you want, but it doesn't matter whether you are a multi-billionaire or whether you are on the pension or whatever it is, Social Security, you will get the same level of treatment. I mean, if you're on private health care because you've paid insurance because you're an ultra billionaire, you get your own hospital room and possibly a glass of wine, but you will still get the blood transfusions that you need, the platelets that you need, the chemo treatment that you need, the hospital stay, the broken arm getting fixed, whatever it is, without cost. Not perfect, because things that are considered optional, not necessarily optional, but like hip and knee replacements and stuff, you actually go on a waiting list unless you've paid your extra insurance. But for the basics, you get the basics for free. And it means that you don't have to stay in a job that is paying you below the poverty level that you hate because you're relying on that healthcare coverage. Universal healthcare brings freedom, more than freedom of speech, more than owning arms. It brings freedom. Freedom to choose, freedom to know that you're not going to have to sell the house if you feel something is wrong and take yourself to hospital. It brings huge freedom to the people of the country. And that's why it is so important. And that's why the parasites, I'm going to call them parasites, the oligarchs or whoever up there are so determined not to put out not having universal health care, the propaganda, because it keeps you in that $7.50 an hour job that you can't stand, and they won't give you toilet breaks and all the rest of it because you don't have that coverage. It's one thing, but we also have social security here if you're unemployed. It's not you only get 6 weeks. As long as you are actively searching for employment, you will get supported along the way. University students can apply for living away from home allowance, all those sorts of bits and bobs, and that comes from taxing the wealthy and taxing the corporations at a fair rate. So very much the freedom. Now, this discussion I was having, they said, oh, but we're a much bigger country than Australia. Well, scale up. It's not. If it was easy, it would be. Anything easy is. It's like women getting the vote or the civil rights movement, etc. None of it was easy. None of it. Women chained themselves to railings in their, corsets and petticoats. They threw themselves in front of horses at Ascot. They fought intensely for the right for women to vote, and very much similar during the civil rights. No, it's not necessarily easy, but it is worth doing, and it's about scaling up. Same with the counting the paper ballots instead of using a machine. It's just a case of scaling up. You have more people that require it, use more people to provide it. Sorry, I'm just, yes, on my soapbox today. Okay, so, I just also wanted to mention with the Luigi reading I did the other day. Again, afterwards, find out a lot of stuff after the event. Apparently the CEO that was unalived was facing charges of insider trading and due to go for questioning. So, perhaps somebody didn't want the CEO to be questioned. And I believe there was a second CEO that resigned 6 months later for similar. I was getting the feeling there was something there about, I thought maybe they hadn't paid the mob boss or something, or they were going to expose something. Well, yeah. I'm just going to, pretty much the same as the Orange Twerp with the, was it 3 executives in the helicopter that were, with the helicopter that went down that literally days later was supposed to testify in regards to the casino going bankrupt. Ivana falling down the stairs literally days before she was supposed to testify. Yeah. And it's all to do with power and money, but we are at an end of that era. Just also want to point out that 5 countries have now come out and declared that they are going to boycott Eurovision. For those that know what Eurovision is, because Israel is being allowed to compete. So Ireland, can't remember what the other ones were. I did see, but go for it. And these are genuine European countries. So not quite sure why Australia's in Eurovision, but anyhow. Oh, it's a little orb. That was lovely. Okay. Let's have a look. Okay, thank you. What do you need me to, what do you need for me to, what cards? Guides, what cards are you needing for me to put out in regards to next year? Come on down, let's have a look. As I said, I'm perched on the corner. I'm sure I can make this work. Okay, we've got the Queen of Pentacles. Mind your budget. Next year's going to be very much about protecting your money, is what I'm getting. Kitchen tables are issues as well, but protecting your money. Now, Oracle, read on that, Larry Ellison a while back, but also mentioned it in a reading the other day about the AI bubble. Apparently, Oracle is down over 10%. And, Ellison's the one that his company Oracle is trying to do the Paramount Disney merger with the money from the Saudis that Kushner has arranged, all that sort of insider stuff. Okay, so next year, the Queen of Pentacles. I'm going to do an energies reading, which is slightly different. So the signifier, Queen of Pentacles. It's going to be fine. It's going to be okay. There's going to be a lot of revelations and a lot of exposures that might put us on the back foot. But if you're forewarned, nothing will surprise you. Nothing about what comes out about this regime surprises me. And if you understand that, just going to pop those down, but what is happening at the moment around the world, we sort of go, oh, the regime in the US and the Kremlin in Russia and all the rest of it. If you shift your way of thinking that what is happening at the moment is about oligarchs, parasites that they are, wanting to carve up the world. It's not about countries. It's not about governments. It's about the moneyed, the obscenely wealthy, wanting to carve up the world amongst themselves. So it's not the US wanting this and the Kremlin wanting that and China wanting something else. Don't know that China's particularly in this mix because the Chinese Communist Party decided to help themselves to the oligarchical money within their country. But if you think about these other oligarchs, you're talking about the Teals, you're talking about the Musks, you're talking about Ellison's trying to run with the big boys, but he can't. Fallon thinks he's running with the big boys, but no, they're just using him. But the Cox, C-O-C-H, yeah, I'll call it Cox, the Leonard Leos, all these ones behind the scenes, the Bezos, the Zuckerbergs, etc. If you change the mindset that it's not about the country, it's about carving up the world between these. They're going to fail. They're just trust. It is going to fail. Okay, come on down. 2222 when I said that. Love it. Okay, so yes, the energy behind the scenes at the moment is the King of Cups, we the people, and the exposure of the false victories, the Six of Wands. May also be King of Cups, we the people, having victories, because bravo, Mayor of Miami, bravo, Seaton, Georgia. Absolutely. When they don't cheat or don't cheat enough, the seats flip. Now, I will say till the cows come home with Tennessee that 31,000 swamp of votes right at the end when there should have only been 1,000 to actually count was to prevent an automatic recount. Okay, so I'll just put that there and let it sit. Okay. What's coming out of that energy is the coming together, the community, especially in the US, it's very much about the cities. I think I listened to Susan Lynn the other day, who she tried to say cities and kept getting municipalities. We don't call them that over here. We call them councils, which is so much easier. But yeah, the coming together on the local level. We, the people, coming together on the local levels. Okay, I'm going to call this the false victory card because the energy coming out of that is illusion. It is smoke and mirrors. It is delusional. It is toxic choices made based on greed and addiction and power and even boredom. I can't remember who I was watching yesterday that said, oh, it might have been on Hogarth's live. I didn't catch the live, I watched it afterwards. Someone said in the comments that Hogarth put out that the oligarchs, these ones with the endless supply of stolen parasitic money, are bored. So for them, they're trying to fulfill something within themselves that is lacking by you taking outside action. So yeah, Absolutely. In regards to this, the stolen election, they're delusional about it. They got away with it at the time, and they seem to think they're going to continue getting away with it, but they have not counted on we the people. The Tsars in Russia didn't take into consideration we the people. The monarchy in France didn't take into account we the people. Oh, to their detriment. I'm sure there's another one. I'm sure there's been a king somewhere along the way in the UK that lost his head because they didn't take into account the uprising of we the people. Okay, so let's see where we go with this. The energy overarching is the guardrails holding and the presentation of a new plan, a bringing forth of a new message, a new plan, a new start. Built on the foundation of the guardrails, built on the foundation of potentially in the US, the Constitution, built on the strength of that, but new, completely new. Okay, the other energy overarching this is the Five of Wands. We are going to see this conflict, throwing under the bus, infighting. This is what the regimes of the world want. They want us to turn on each other. Blame your immigrant neighbour because you don't have a job. Don't blame the multi-trillionaire for hoarding all the money or anything, and jobs being taken away because he's developed AI. No. Blame your neighbour. This is what they're after. But what is also going to happen is that there is going to be this throwing under the bus occur. Okay, let's have a look at the outcome. Oh, I like this. 10 of Cups. So King of Cups, 3 of Cups, energy over at the outcome, the 10 of Cups. Working together with unity and diversity to bring a completion and a new era. This is my card for the voter. This is my card for I go by the imaging, coming together, working together on an emotional but also physical level, spiritual as well, for unity, diversity, and good going forward. Oh, another 10. The 10 of Swords, because there will be a stage where we can't be hurt anymore. This may also be the downfall of these dudes here, because there will be a downfall. 2 tens though, end of era, moving into the next. This is 2026. It's ending of era stuff. It is up to the people to coming together to decide what future they want. The King of Swords, it will be a year of powerful legal action. King of Swords, and then the Fool. Love this. Now, they're very much new beginning, uncharted waters. Let me just put it this way. We're going to come out of this era in a completely different, and temperance, balance, moderation, but also juggling to bring together fire and water, dawn of a new day. What is coming is going to be completely different to what was before. And that's very like every time. Sorry, I was sitting in the dark here. Hello. Let me see if I can get that to... Yeah, maybe not. Oh, I just made it worse. It's going to be very much like past really intense moments. I mean, France went into the revolution with a monarchy and came out without one. Russia went into the revolution with a czar and came out without one. Went into the independence war. Actually, it's kind of pity that the US actually tossed out the Brits. Otherwise, you might have ended up like Australia and Canada. But that's beside the point. Can't go back, can't change history. Yeah, but going into the independence war, into the Civil War, coming out different, and World War II coming out. I'm not saying there's going to be a war, but what is going to follow is going to be what different from what we have known. It's not going to be worse. It is, but we have the opportunity for it to be better. And when the secrets come out, there's going to be a lot of people on the defensive here because they're going to be found out and finally held accountable. Okay, I'm going to leave that there. Love to you all. Take care. What a great reading. Catch you later. Bye bye.